Yeah, I've been treated fantastically here. That hasn't changed from Ray down. It's been a tough experience, but I felt support the whole way through. So yeah, I mean, I can't commit to anything long term right now, but at this point in time, I really enjoy being a Devil. I enjoy being around my teammates, and the conversations about my future will happen. I want to listen to not only what Ray says and what ownership has to say, but I want to listen to the people close to me. I find that you can do a lot more learning listening than you can talking. So we'll see how everything goes this summer.
Things were sort of going downhill even before you were injured. What didn't you see in the team this season, or just the on-ice product that maybe was there last season? What was sort of the missing element?
That's a tough question. To put it on one thing would be hard. I certainly think if you look at our team, we have the culture and we have the character in our locker room. At this point in time, in my opinion, we lack some talent in positions. So that's going to be something that I think a lot of us are looking to upgrade, whether it's the players on our team getting better and improving, or on the outside. But certainly when you finish 30th, you're lacking some skill, you're lacking some talent. The great part is we have a culture in our locker room and an atmosphere that is fun to be around, is conducive to success and hardworking people. So that's the good thing. It's now about filling those gaps where we might have lacked this season.
When you talk about that and talking about listening to Ray, how much emphasis do you put on what he does outside of the organization season, whether it be the draft, trade, free agency? How much do you keep your eye on that and kind of weigh that into part of your future and that ultimate decision?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is the draft lottery and the draft and free agency. Definitely, you're looking to see what how we improve, because at the end of the day, we lost 50 plus games this year. We have to upgrade at certain positions, and I'm sure Ray knows that, and we've talked about that a little bit before as well. As when the time is right, he's always said that he's going to strike and he's going to look to improve our team. So I'll be looking to see what happens. I'm sure every guy on our team will be doing the same thing. Hey, who are we looking to go after? What are we looking to upgrade? So we're in a great spot. We have a ton of draft picks. We have a high pick coming up, and as much as it sucks, you'd probably rather be at the bottom of the standings rather than 5 points out of the playoffs. So it's tough to go down a stretch like that, but there is some reason for optimism for sure.
Taylor, I know you're still young, 27, but how important is it for you to, at this stage in your career, to be on a perennial playoff participant, a cup contending team, or are you willing to be patient another year, another 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, those are conversations that I have to have with people that I trust. I've been in the playoffs one time in 9 years. I've played 5 playoff games, and I've won one. So there's a level of there's only so much patience that you can have at this age. At this point in time, the league is getting younger and younger, and Father Time is undefeated. So you only have so many years left in this league, and for me to be probably halfway done my career at least, and to only have played 5 playoff games is disappointing. So you want to try and make up for that, and that is a huge part of it. But you also want to be cognizant of the process and not go chasing after the wrong situation. So that's stuff that I have to think about, and to be honest, I haven't really done that. So we'll see what happens. It's hard, but I want to win for sure. Yeah.
Taylor, on that note, I don't know how much you track other sports, but the ownership group that owns you guys also owns the Sixers, who I believe were somewhere in the top 5 or 6 in spending in the NBA this year. Do you look at that and say, you know what, if they're spending at that, for the Sixers, they might be spending a lot towards you guys, and you mentioned when Ray feels the time is right, he's going to strike. How much is that a consideration, the ownership group and their ability, at least in past practices, to kind of go out there and spend?
Yeah, I think I think we're two different organizations. I think you look at Philadelphia, they're probably one of the most valuable franchises in the NBA, and we're not there here yet. So to say that you can see they spend money on players is it's encouraging, but I think you want to see it before you you take that fully into consideration, for sure.
I'm going to change gears a little bit here, and I'm just wondering what you saw from your vantage point, watching all those games from the press box, in how Nico developed as a player. You played with him so much last year, but now he kind of had to flourish on his own without you by his side. What did you see in him through this season without you there?
Yeah, he it was great to see him wearing a letter, taking a step that way. I think I've been through that process where not only do you have to evolve on the ice, but you have to evolve off the ice and with your habits and how you conduct yourself. I'm still learning, how to do that. That's a process that never really stops. But yeah, I think as he gets older and he's able to play against the top lines more and more at home and face those matchups, I thought he did a great job. I would have loved to have been there by his side all season long, but we had a ton of injuries, and he stuck through it, and I thought no matter who was playing on his wings, he was an impact player. So you want to see growth, and you want to see improvement, and he's only 19. He might be 20 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's so much time, and there's so much room for him to grow. The one thing that he has going for him is he's got a great work ethic, and he cares a lot. So the way his arc is only going to go up, but you're seeing a guy that can take on those top lines, that can play and not only play but do well against them, dominate at times. So that was great to see.
I know being hurt is no fun, and when they can't find a solution, it makes it even worse. How hard is it for you to watch a team, though, when you're the leader, the guy who put them in the playoffs last year, and you can't do anything about it?
Yeah, it's very hard. Not being able to contribute is, and you're around the team day in, day out, but you don't truly feel like a member of the team unless you're on the ice battling with them and going through that. So it's a hard part about being injured is it's a mental grind, and you got to find ways to keep yourself busy and keep yourself, get your mind off your injury, get your mind off everything like that. So there's definitely a mental part of it, and facing uncertainty about the injury itself makes it even harder. So it was a trying year. If something could go wrong this year, it went wrong, and that's the way it's life, I guess. So definitely looking forward to coming back next year and maybe even having a greater appreciation for how fun it is just to be healthy and playing every day, for sure.
Taylor, on the flip side.
One time I went to Montreal with the team, and just to get out of Jersey for a bit. I went to Toronto a couple times and saw family. This past trip in Florida, I went and managed to get very, very sunburnt. So that's things like that. Just whether it's going into the city and spending a night there, whatever it is, just finding ways to keep yourself busy and occupied is fun. But I watched every game, whether they were at home or on the road. I always tried to be in tune with what was going on and tried to attend as many meetings as I could just to stay involved. But you don't truly feel like you're in the fight unless you're playing on the team.
Were you encouraged by the fact that when you left, half of Binghamton at times was up here, and they were in games night in and night out, battling like they did? Was that something for you to witness, to see some of the young guys and what they were able to do?
Yeah, they came up and adapted, right away. The work ethic that they showed and the battle and the fight was awesome. We were in pretty much every game down the stretch with probably not an optimal roster. So it's obvious that there's a mandate on work ethic and character and how you have to play. Now it's about getting those players to shine offensively and be able to take over games that way. But it was very encouraging that their work ethic and their pride in the way that they played was top notch.